Good evening, welcome to the 7 o'clock English news from the Sultan of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty the Sultan arrives in the Russian Federation for a 2-day state visit. His Majesty the Sultan visits the tomb of the unknown soldier memorial in the Alexander Garden in Moscow. Russian newspapers and media means highlight His Majesty's visit and reviews its importance in enhancing cooperation in various fields between both countries. And the Minister of Housing and Urban Planning reviews urban planning projects for 5 future cities, most notably Sultan Haitham City. Those are the headlines and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq arrived in the friendly Russian Federation this evening for a 2-day state visit. An official reception ceremony was held for His Majesty the Sultan at Municipal Airport in Moscow to celebrate and welcome His Majesty's gracious visit. His Majesty the Sultan was received at the plane's steps by His Excellency Maxim Rashchenikov, Minister of Economic Development of the Russian Federation, a number of the officials from the Russian Federation, and members of the Embassy of the Sultan of Oman in Moscow. His Majesty the Sultan then inspected the Guard of Honor. His Majesty then proceeded to the podium where the Omani Royal Anthem and the Russian National Anthem were played. An official reception ceremony will be held for His Majesty Sultan tomorrow at the Kremlin Palace in the Russian capital, Moscow, during which he will meet with His Excellency President Vladimir Putin, President of the Russian Federation, and the two leaders will hold official talks. His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq visited the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier Memorial in Alexander Garden in Red Square, Moscow, as part of His Majesty's state visit to the friendly Russian Federation. Upon His Majesty the Sultan's arrival, he was received by General Evgeny Seleznev, the military commander of Moscow, and a number of Russian officials. His Majesty then laid a wreath at the memorial. His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq left the country this morning, heading to the Russian Federation for a two-day state visit, during which he would meet with His Excellency President Vladimir Putin of the Russian Federation. The visit comes in response to the kind invitation His Majesty Sultan received from His Excellency the Russian President, and affirms to the different rooted relations between the two countries. His Majesty the Sultan was seen off at the airport, by Royal Airport, by His Highness Sayyid Fahad bin Mahmoud Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers, His Highness Sayyid Asad bin Tariq Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for International Relations and Cooperation Affairs, and Special Representative of His Majesty the Sultan, His Highness Sayyid Yazan bin Haitham Al Saeed, Minister of Culture, Sports and Youth, His Excellency Sheikh Abdul Malik bin Abdullah Khalidi, Chairman of the State Council, His Excellency Khalid bin Hilal Al Maali, Chairman of the Shura Council, His Excellency Sayyid Hamoud bin Faisal Al Busaidi, Minister of Interior, His Excellency Sayyid Mohammed bin Sultan Al Busaidi, Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Judicial Council, His Excellency Nasr bin Hamoud Al Kindi, Secretary General of the Royal Court Affairs, Her Excellency Dr. Madiha bin Ahmed Al Shibani, Minister of Education, His Excellency Sheikh Al Fadl bin Muhammad Al Harthi, Secretary General of the Council of Ministers, His Excellency Lieutenant General Hassan bin Mohsen Shariki, Inspector General of the Police and Customs, His Excellency Lieutenant General Saeed bin Ali Al-Hilali, Head of the Internal Security Services, His Vice Admiral Abdullah bin Khamis Al-Raisi, Chief of Staff of the Sultan's Armed Forces, Major General Matar bin Saad Malblushi, Commander of the Royal Army of Oman, Air Vice Marshal Khamis bin Hamad Al-Ghafri, Commander of the Royal Air Force of Oman, Rear Admiral Saif bin Nasser Al-Rahbi, Commander of the Royal Navy of Oman, and Major General Musallam bin Muhammad Jabub, Commander of the Sultan's Special Forces. During the visit, His Majesty the Sultan is accompanied by high-ranking official delegation, including His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Said, Deputy Prime Minister for Defence Affairs, His Excellency Sayyid Khalid bin Hilal Al Busaidi, Minister of the Diwan of the Royal Court, His Excellency General Sultan bin Muhammad Al Namani, Minister of the Royal Office, His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad Al Busaidi, the Foreign Minister, His Excellency Dr. Hamid bin Saeed Al Aufi, Head of the Private Office, His Excellency Abdul Salam bin Muhammad Al Murshidi, Chairman of the Oman Investment Authority, His Excellency Qais bin Muhammad Al Yusuf, Minister of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion, His Excellency Jamal bin Hassan Al Musawi, Secretary General of the National Museum, and His Excellency Ambassador Hamoud bin Salim Al Tawiyyah, Ambassador of the Sultan of Oman to the Russian Federation. His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq sent cable of condolences to His Eminence Cardinal Kevin Farrell Camilago of the Holy Roman Church of the death of His Holiness Pope Francis. His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq received a cable of thanks from His Excellency President Constantino Tsoulas of the Hellenic Republic in reply to His Majesty's greetings cable on the occasion of him being elected as the President of the Republic. The state visit of His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq to the Russian Federation at the invitation of the Russian President has received widespread attention within Russian political and media circles, underscoring the depth of relations between the Sultan of Oman and the Russian Federation. More in the following report.
Political and media means have shown great interest in the state visit of His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq to the Russian Federation, with news of the visit making headlines in the most prominent Russian newspapers, agencies and media outlets. As RIA Novosti highlighted the state visit, announcing that the Kremlin press office explained that Russian President Vladimir Putin would discuss with the distinguished guest His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq the main directions for developing Armeni-Russian cooperation, which would raise the level of relations between the two countries to new heights. The newspaper Arguments and Facts also highlighted the impact of the visa waiver on tourism, noting that 11,000 Armeni tourists visited Russia last year, while the number of Russian tourists to the Sultanate of Oman rose to 44,000 last year. On the other hand, TASS news agency spoke more extensively about the anticipated signings in Moscow, indicating that the two sides will sign 10 agreements in various fields, including cooperation in fisheries, sustainable development, cooperation in media work, energy, education and tourism. Interfax and Gazeta.ru listed the most important topics of the talks between President Vladimir Putin and His Majesty the Sultan, particularly the directions of further developments in cooperation between them, including trade, economic relations, investments, cultural and humanitarian fields, as well as the latest developments on the regional and international arenas. And finally, Lenta.ru news agency addressed the Sultanate of Oman's positive role of effective mediation on April 12th that helped facilitate the indirect talks between representatives of Iran and the United States, noting Moscow's appreciation of the talks held in the Sultanate of Oman.
Towards a life that guarantees full and comprehensive rights for persons with disabilities and a comprehensive legal framework for the efficient and transparent collection of government dues from individuals and institutions, members of the State Council discussed the draft law on the rights of persons with disabilities and the draft law on the collection of state dues during its 7th session of the second regular session of the 8th term. Members of the State Council explained that the draft law on the rights of persons with disabilities aims to ensure that persons with disabilities enjoy all their civil, social and cultural, health educational, sports, and other rights. They added that the law is comprehensive and effective in meeting the needs of persons with disabilities, promoting their rights in society, integrating them into various fields, and achieving equal opportunities for them with others. The draft law on the rights of persons with disabilities and the draft law on the collection of state dues will deliver sound legislative outcomes that serve the public interest, embody the nation's visions and future aspirations, and enhance the efficiency of legislative performance. His Excellency Dr. Khalfan bin Saeed Al-Shuaili, Minister of Housing and Urban Planning, confirmed that the Ministry is focusing on urban planning projects for 5 future cities, namely Sultan Haitham City, Thuraya City, Sohar Future City, Salalah Future City, and Nizwa Future City, covering a total area of 39 million square meters, as well as 22 projects for integrated neighborhoods and residential schemes. This comes during the Shura Council's hosting of His Excellency, who delivered his minister's statement before the Council as part of the approved ministerial statements program for the second regular round of the 10th term. The session was chaired by His Excellency Sheikh Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Nadabi, Secretary General of the Shura Council. Oman International Conference on Food Safety and Quality kicked off today, aiming to enhance food safety and quality to provide consumers with best products in the markets. Here is a report on that.
With a strong focus on building resilient and adaptive food systems, the 7th Oman International Conference on Food Safety and Quality opened today, bringing together experts and innovators under the banner of the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources.
With regard to the Food Safety Week, actually it is a national event, which means that many institutions are also celebrating with the ministry in different governorates, including our partners in the municipalities, in the academia, in the private sectors. So it's a campaign actually to raise the awareness of the community for the food safety.
The 3-day conference held as part of the Food Safety Week, which features experts and specialists from both inside and outside the Sultanate of Oman, as well as 32 countries. The conference addresses several topics, including modern technology for finding innovative solutions to enhance food safety and quality, food fraud, and determining food authenticity.
We are certainly witnessing several challenges, whether be it food safety threats, whether be it changes in the environment of production of food systems. We consider, in fact, that the Omani vision to invest in food science and technology, to be able to drive a knowledge-based economy, is part of the solutions to help us sustain the food production environment in Oman, but also to protect consumers here nationally and around the world.
The conference also highlights food regulatory analytical methods, risk assessment to support food regulatory decisions, green food supply chains, and supply chain management and logistics. This conference is an important measure that contributes in protecting consumers' health and enhancing their confidence in the products offered in the market. It also reduces food waste, which has a positive impact in the national economy. Ruqayya Rashid Al-Khdairi reporting for the Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
In a move to enhance regional cooperation, a major workshop opened today through the 24th of April in Muscat, bringing together Gulf decision makers and experts to address new standards for social protection and the quality of life. The event was under the auspices of Her Excellency Dr. Layla bint Ahmed Al-Najjar, the Minister of Social Development.
Leaders and experts from across the Gulf Cooperation Council countries gathered in Muscat to launch a regional workshop focused on measuring decent living standards and advancing social security systems. Officials highlighted that human development has long been a top priority for Gulf states, rooted in the belief that people are the ultimate goal of development.
think it's going to be an important workshop for the GCC countries to establish for the first time a common framework when it comes to measuring living standards. We have been invited to discuss about international methodologies, so we are going to present the World Bank approach, and we have some suggestions, some ideas for the GCC countries going forward.
The workshop aims to build a unified Gulf framework for measuring quality of life by designing a multi-dimensional composite index. The initiative supports efforts to boost competitiveness, attract investment, and strengthen the Gulf's international standing.
We have, as bank, an international poverty line, but also in general the methodology which is based on microeconomic theory, which is absolute poverty, and also this is monetary poverty, but we'll also discuss about some other dimensions of poverty that have to do with health, education, infrastructure. So for the GCC, I think it's helpful to have this discussion today to come up with a common agreed framework among the countries for the next few years.
Participants, including representatives from the World Bank and the International Labour Organization, are working to develop robust statistical tools. They emphasized the need for accurate and nationally sourced data to better reflect the real progress made by GCC nations in global reports. The workshop also focuses on enhancing the sustainability of social protection systems to meet the evolving needs of Gulf citizens, while supporting the region's broader sustainable development goals for 2030. As Gulf nations advance economic and social goals, today's workshop sets the stage for a unified way to measure prosperity. This is Afra Amr reporting for Oman Television, Muscat.
The Muscat Municipal Council discussed garden projects in residential scheme and private sector participation in their financing during its fourth meeting this year. The council also discussed a proposal to create new residential schemes in the Wilaya of Matrah and to invest in the Wadi Al Jafena Dam project to create added value for the environment and society. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Sayyid Saud bin Hilal al-Busaidi, Governor of Muscat and Chairman of the Municipal Council. The Municipal Council discussed the service and development projects currently being implemented in South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate during its fourth regular session this year. The Council also reviewed the minutes of the Health Affairs Committee meeting on the Healing Companions Initiative, which aims to improve the experience of hospitalized patients, provide them with psychological and physical support during treatment, and address the most prominent challenges associated with this initiative. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Dr. Yahya bin Badr Al-Mauli, Governor of South Al-Sharqiyya and the Chairman of the Municipal Council. You're watching the Sultan of Oman Television. Before tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty the Sultan arrives to the Russian Federation for a two-day state visit. His Majesty the Sultan visited the tomb of the unknown soldier memorial in Alexander Garden in Moscow. Russian newspapers and media means highlight His Majesty's visit and reviews its importance in enhancing cooperation in various fields between both countries. And the Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning reviews urban planning projects for 5 future cities, most notably Sultan Haitham City. And with that, we'll come to the end of tonight's news bulletin from all of us here in the newsroom and myself, Al Kindi. Good night and stay safe.